Welcome to That Girl. In today's episode, I sit down with Muneera Al Kubaisi. Muneera is a government employee, she's an entrepreneur, she's a cat lady, and she's a mental health advocate. I think you're gonna find today's episode really informative, so stick around. And if you haven't already subscribed to That Girl, what are you waiting for? Muneera Kubaisi, my friend. I missed you.
I missed you too.
This catch-up is well overdue.
I know.
You know, I always go back to old WhatsApp conversations to check when was the last time we saw each other. It was August.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
You saw me right after I closed the business.
Masaddiq,
Yeah.
where has the time gone?
I know.
And you know what? For transparency for our viewers, let's just give them a little bit of context of what happened. We were supposed to meet yesterday for coffee.
Yes.
And then we planned this podcast.
Yeah.
And you called me up midweek and you said, Shifa, you know what? I just want to be honest with you. I need to rest and prepare myself and be ready for the podcast. I'm like, you know what? I love that honesty.
Yeah.
And at least this way, our conversation is going to be more authentic, more raw, because it's a real catch-up.
Yeah. Because I know, if I see you, we're gonna say everything that we have. So I was like, let's not.
Today.
Yeah, I was like, let's not. Let's save everything.
Love it, love it, love it. So, Muneera, what's been going on in your life since August?
Ooh, nothing.
You know what? Let's give the viewers a little bit of context.
Yes.
Okay. So back in August, Muneera is a government employee.
Yeah.
She's in the central bank here in Qatar.
Yeah.
She's
semi-government, but yeah.
Semi-government, the Good Life Market, health food store.
Yes.
When did you open it?
In August 2018.
2018. And then August of 2021.
Yes.
You decided
closed,
to close down the business.
Yes.
So that was what was going on in Muneera's life the last time I saw her. She's been documenting it a lot on social media. She's been very honest and open and transparent, which I love about you.
Thank you.
And now
I tried.
it's over to you. What's been going on since then?
Nothing much, to be honest. I've been just trying. When you close a business, the reality is you have a lot of things to take care of.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of like legal stuff, administrative stuff to take care of in closing the business, closing accounts and all of that. But at the same time, just dealing with closing the business like on the emotional side, on like the mental side of things, and trying to rest, trying to process things, trying not so much to think about the future, but mostly I would say I've been just focusing on my like emotional health.
Yeah. What's been the hardest aspect, that emotional aspect?
About closing?
About closing the business.
I would say all of it. But here's the thing. I would say a few things, and then I would tell you like the hardest thing is going through all of this and like in one go. One of the hardest thing is just accepting failure, accepting that I have failed. I've never in my life seen myself as someone who could fail, or like never in my trajectory of life. And I've never failed, not even in school. In uni, I did fail some such subjects, but but I did like work really hard. And then we're always told, like if you work hard, you get what you earn.
I disagree with that because, you know, sometimes bad things happen.
Now I do
people.
disagree with it.
So just to interrupt you, has your definition of failure changed?
I think I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be dishonest and say, yes, it's 100% changed. I'm okay with it 100%. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I still, again, I feel like one of the hardest part is accepting it. I'm not 100% there. I've never seen it for myself. So accepting that it's okay that the business have failed. Also taking myself out of the equation is just one of the hardest things that I've been trying to like disassociate yourself from the situation.
Just get some perspective.
Yeah, disconnect myself, thinking about the business as like its own entity that has failed and not me that have failed. It's really hard. It's a work in progress. We're like what? 6 months now?
A little over 6 months,
yeah. And I'm still like not 100% there. It's very hard when you put your heart and soul into something, not to feel like this is all of you.
Yeah.
in this entity.
Very attached.
Yeah.
Huh?
So, and then at the same time, I feel like going through it publicly is also has been really hard. I don't regret it. I feel like a lot of people have
Benefited.
yeah. A
Absolutely.
lot of
Absolutely.
people have like seen the reality of entrepreneurship. I feel like overall in Doha, it's like this very rosy picture of like, oh, look at this great businesswoman, look at this great businessman, a success story. They're making 1 million in profit, blah, blah, blah. But people don't see the reality of what's happening inside, of
And
what's
I'm
really
hoping
going
that
on.
today some of the people that have not started or they're considering are going to get benefit from today's
Hopefully,
episode too.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
So I would say just going through all of this at the same time was the hardest part.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you dissect all of this in your journey, it would have probably been bearable.
Yeah.
But going through all of this,
When it rains, it pours.
yeah.
Okay, so as you said, it was public and you were documenting it. You were being very transparent.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden you took this little break. Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to take, or did it become too much?
It
or-
was too much. Yes, I'm still again 100% in support with being honest, being transparent, and all of that. But at that time, it was too much to talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like this is what's all I've been talking about for the last. Well, we started planning for Good Life in like 2016. So 4 years of my life, this is all what I've been talking about, and it came to a point where it was really bearable, and my like emotional mental state was really dark. I was in a really dark place.
Resulting from the business?
Yeah,
or
resulting
just-
from the
yeah.
closing. So I was like, you know what? It's time to just like, I was being very dark and resentful and like just angry about the whole situation, which is very valid. But as much as I love being transparent, I felt like at that moment I need to take a step back and just be with myself and be with my emotions.
What's right for you.
And I feel like I did also my part in showing people, you know what, I'm being very dark, very like not pleasant to be on social media,
around as
to be
well,
around
yeah.
and be on social media. So let me take just a step back.
But again, you never know what appeals to other people and what they're relating to. Maybe people
Yeah.
were just waiting for your next post. You don't
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
Muneera, we've used the word failure a lot
Yeah.
since we started. Let's look on the bright side. Let's
Yeah.
back up all the way to 2016 till 2021. What you achieved is remarkable.
Thank you.
A health food store in the Pearl.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Who supported you on this journey? Who were your mentors? Who were you getting advised by?
Honestly, okay, let's distinguish between like financial support, emotional support, and like, let's say guidance and mentorship.
Yeah.
Financial, emotional, family and friends, 100%. They covered their like my bases. They covered their bases. They were amazing. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for all like my friends and like family support and like everything that I've went through was like emotionally and mentally draining, and I got a lot of like emotional support in regards of that.
That you not after the closure. I'm talking about while you were
Even
starting.
like
while you were
even starting
yeah.
and throughout the whole thing. Now, guidance and mentorship is a bit tricky here in Doha, especially for my business, because it was first like the first one. I would say people accepting it was hard. I mean people as in people who already work in the import and export business, because they're used to like the regular grocery stores. So at the same time, a lot of those people we have to keep in mind, and I've said this a million times before, and I'm sure like my followers are like really tired of me saying the same thing, but it's a very male dominated business. And when you come in as a woman, and at that time I was like 27, 28, they don't take you seriously. Even those who take you seriously will give you a little bit of advice and just send you your way. and they're very, very competitive. That's why, like, they were nice. I wouldn't say people did not give me advice, were not there for me. There are people who I constantly went for advice, but they did not mentor me, they did not guide me, they were not there when I needed like an on-site business advice.
And is that because they didn't have the information, or they were withholding it, or it just...
You can say both,
Yeah.
to be honest. We can say both. And at the same time, they're just not used to it. Like the idea of mentorship, the idea of taking someone under your wing is not something that we're used to here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, again, you have this woman-man dynamic. They're just not used to it. And they want their business at the end of the day
Of
to
course.
succeed. But I would say it's mostly that they're not used to it.
Yeah.
And I did not ask, to be brutally honest. I did meet a lot of amazing people, which happens to happen at the end of like my process, towards the end, like during my closing process. Like I would have loved meeting those people before, but it was not meant to be. And now I have those amazing connections. But
maybe for the next chapter.
Yeah, but I would have loved having a mentorship. It would have helped.
Muneera, now looking back again, was there any one singular aspect that you think resulted in the closure, or was it just too many things altogether?
I would say, okay, there is this theme overall of like very poor financial management on like my side. I wouldn't say like my side and my team side, but I would say like from our side.
And that was, did you have a good accountant? Did you?
Initially, no.
Okay.
We thought we had like everything under control, so we didn't have an accountant initially, but we did like, I believe in 2019, which is like 1 year after very horrible like financial decisions, that's when we got an accountant, but it was too late at that point.
And the reason you didn't get one, did you think that you're good with money? And
we thought we had it under control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought we're doing fine. We're doing amazing.
Note that down.
Yeah.
Get yourself an accountant.
And then like, the auditing came and it was like, no, we need an accountant. But yeah, I would say very, very poor financial management was like the reoccurring theme, number one. And overall, it was a lot of reasons, mainly COVID. I don't know if we're going to mention COVID, but it was mainly COVID, I think, what sealed the deal.
Sealed the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Muneera, it sounds like you have an amazing support network.
Yeah.
How important is friendship to you in your life?
I don't want to cry. Don't make me cry.
It's okay. Cry.
I don't want to cry. But no, I love them.
Yeah.
I love my friends. Again, I wouldn't be here. This is going to be so dark. You guys might have like to blur the word, but I believe 2 months ago, I was suicidal. It got to a point where I was like, I see no point in life. I don't see anything. I really don't see the end of the tunnel. I remember telling my therapist, I think like life is just pointless at this point. And then she was like, did you tell your friends? It's like, no. She's like, go message your friends.
Yeah.
And I messaged them and bless their hearts. Again, that's why I say I wouldn't be like sitting here.
Yeah. This was on the period when you were on your break from social media, or
that
before?
that was during that period. And I messaged them, and they just really showed up for me.
Yeah.
They were checking on me constantly. They were there, and the fact that when you go through something, you just don't stop thinking about it, and you're just angry and sad and upset all the time. And that's all you want to talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And having someone not getting bored from you saying the same thing is just the biggest blessing you can have.
Absolutely.
And always there to hear you, always there to listen. Yeah.
Since we're on the topic and the mental health issues came up, let's dig in a bit. We'll detour for a bit. You know, in 2020, I had a cousin, 24 years old, that took his own life.
Yeah.
I've always been an advocate for mental health, but since then, it's just been on my mind like all the time. And awareness is a great thing, okay? And talking is a great thing.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm always like, what's next?
Yeah.
It's time for action now. What would you say, Muneera, is something that you and I, and everyone who's watching can do daily to protect their peace, their mental health? Practical, tangible, easy, daily things.
Since we just talked about friends, I would say talk to your friends.
Yeah.
Like have someone, because often when you're going through something, you feel like you're not loved.
Yeah.
You feel like you're worthless. You feel like you're not enough. Let's talk specifically when you're suicidal. This is mainly how you, like, not mainly, but this is mostly how you feel. Like you feel like you're not enough, you're worthless, and all of that. So I would say remind yourself how much you're loved. Remind yourself that you have friends that care for you, have family that care for you.
I'm coming across a lot of people these days that they don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah.
People like me and you, we take it for granted. Alhamdulillah, we're blessed with the gift of friendship. But there are people that I've heard especially the last couple of months, and they tell me, Shifa, I don't have friends. I don't know how to make friends.
That's why they have to remind themselves that they are loved regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless.
God loves them.
I was
families
going to
love
say,
them.
whatever power that they believe in, God, Allah, whatever power, the universe, they are loved and they are here for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's just something that you have to remind yourself. It's not in vain. You were not created just to exist. You are loved. You're doing something. You're breathing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. You're here for a reason. You're blessed.
Yeah. So you would say reach out to your friends, talk to people.
Even if you don't have anyone, just have those affirmations that you are enough.
Yeah.
Just by existing, you're fine. You're going to be okay.
Any other daily practices to protect your peace, your mental well-being, we could offer our
I would
viewers
say
today?
Try to limit like negative exposure, like whether that on social media, whether that coming from like your social life, from friends and family. Again, those connections can be toxic. So cut people if you need to cut them.
The power of choice. You have a choice.
Yeah, you have a choice. Limit your like negative social media exposure, and try to take it easy. Try to be at peace. Try to prioritize yourself. And I would say, practicality-wise, write anything. Journaling. Yeah. So I would say, I go through points in life where I'm writing constantly, and then I go through like phases where I'm not writing anything.
Yeah.
But that goes to show like how everything is affecting me mentally.
Yeah.
So write it. If you can't write, I do this thing sometimes when it's too much for me emotionally, I would voice record it. Do whatever you can
Just
to let it out of your
yeah.
system. Dance it out, which also sometimes I do.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of things.
Me, Bollywood. I'm a Bollywood fan.
There you go. I love Bollywood. So there is a lot of things practical that you can do. Dance, workout, just go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Go
Muneera,
for a
are you
walk.
still seeing a therapist?
Yes.
And how do you advise therapy? How has it benefited your life? How has it supported you through this journey?
Again, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for therapy. I went through 2 major therapists, I would say long period in terms of long periods. And they both helped me grow a lot. I'm you know me. I talk about therapy all the time. I'm a big supporter.
Advocate, yeah.
I look at therapy as someone who's helping you peel the onion. And this is this is the example I use all the time, because I feel like you grow up this single speck in the world, and then your family puts a lot of layers on who you actually are. Society,
workplace.
friends, every experience that you go through life. And I feel like therapy helps you just peel those layers one by one.
And get back to yourself.
Yeah, get back to knowing who you really are. You, like your essence, your true self, like your joyous little kid that you once were, like the heroic one, the one who's not scared of anything. You know, that those childish traits that we had when we were kids. And I feel like ultimately this is where I want to reach, and I feel like this is what therapy does.
There you have it, guys. There is no shame in
There's
getting
no
a
shame
therapist.
at all.
No shame.
At all.
Let's go back to the business stuff a little bit again. Neera, if there was a female sitting at home watching this now, she's thinking of getting into the import-export business.
Yes.
What would your advice to her be?
It's an amazing business. I honestly, yes. The thing is, with Good Life, we had two businesses in one, which again, I did not know going into the business.
Yeah.
So there was the retail side and there was the import-export side. So unknowingly, I opened two businesses at the same time. But again, if someone is interested in the import and export business, I would say just go for it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's really interesting. But at the same time, and I would say this with like, I'm not trying to be negative, but it is at the same time very energy draining.
Okay.
It takes a lot of like mental stamina, yeah. Because
would you
have
say more than any other business, in particular, import-export, or because I think any business
I feel like people in power might have it worse.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with import and export, there's a lot of decisions that you have to make on spot. You have to know the rules and regulations. You have to know what's happening, and those are changing all the time. They're changing constantly, so you have to keep up. You have to know how to work around things. You have to have problem-solving skills. Again, on the spot. You have no idea how many
what's your decision-making process like these days? Have you?
I'm like now or when the business was
now. How's learning from what?
I'm very quick now.
Yeah.
I'm very quick and very practical. I feel like when I was in the business, especially at the beginning of the business, I was a bit emotional when taking decisions. But now I'm like, you know what? This is 1 + 1 = 2. That's how you do it.
Okay, so now, we talked about the emotional attachment to the business. How would you advise anyone that's going into business now to have a healthy detachment from their business?
I feel like just go into it knowing that, as much as I loved it when people said, oh, that's your baby, I would say, don't say that. I would say, don't say that. Not to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let people say it to you.
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice and beautiful, and we love it as an expression.
Yeah.
And it sort of is, but don't.
It's one aspect of your life.
Yeah, it's not your baby.
Yeah.
It's not actually your baby. It's something that you're making. It's something that you're doing that could potentially fail or could potentially success.
Yeah.
I think being realistic about your expectation also helps a lot. Like, don't go into it thinking you're gonna be the next big thing. It's gonna be like, if it happens, alhamdulillah, good for you. Celebrate that, be happy about it. But I'm saying, manage your expectations. Be very realistic about what's happening around you, society wise, culture wise, worldly as well. Be very realistic about what's going on.
That's a great approach to everything.
Yeah.
That's a great approach to friendship.
Yeah.
To a career.
Yeah.
That's a great approach to everything. Be realistic.
Be realistic about what's happening and what's going on.
Get some self-awareness.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, ask.
Exactly. Yeah.
Muneera, your current life right now, if it were to be a song, what song would it be?
Wow. I don't know. A song.
Would it be an upbeat song? Would it be a sad song? Would it be
There
a
is a
hopeful
song,
song?
I'll have to check my WhatsApp because there is a song that I told my friends, I was like, this is my anthem right now. And it was,
Yes.
what is it? What was
Is it an old song?
It's an old song. What was his name? And this is someone I love, actually.
I'm excited. What's the song?
It's called High Hopes by Panic at the Disco.
I don't know it.
I love it.
Okay.
It's upbeat, but he's talking about he's talking about his mom, or to his mom, about like the world putting him down. He's going through something, but he still have high hopes. But it's such a good anthem.
Yeah.
And I remember just listening to that song all the time throughout the business.
You're going to play it in your car on the way home.
I'm gonna
now.
play it on the car.
Okay, speaking of high hopes, what's next for Muneera?
To be brutally honest, I have no idea. I'm trying to take it easy.
Day by day?
Day by day. It's a lot when you have been in a business for 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
I feel like my nervous system can handle anything right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been on a flight or fight kind of.
Yeah.
Like all the time, constantly, like go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, wake up. Good life is all I was thinking about. So, and when this happens, you just don't know who you are. You lose touch with who you are, even your standards, your beliefs, where you are in the world, what's your effect in the world, how you want to go forward. This all get lost in the mix.
Well, it's time to fall in love with yourself again.
Yeah, so I'm just taking it day by day. I'm not planning to do anything major. I did initially make a decision to go into social media and focus on my social media. But I was like, you know what, just rest.
Yeah.
Don't make this into a job. Take your time.
And it's all consuming.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
the thing
consuming.
is, everything that happened in my life happened when I wasn't putting a lot of pressure or effort into it. Things just happen to you when you're when you have good energy, when you're being receptive, you're being open to opportunities. And I want to reach that. I want things to come to me. I don't want to fight for them. I don't want to hustle for them.
The best way. Let it flow naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you put any goals for this year, or did you give the year a theme or anything like that? Or you
Rest.
Rest.
Yeah, that's my theme.
I love it.
Yeah.
My theme for this year is the year of miracles. So I'm expecting miracles
That's
this
good.
year.
And you started really well with the
I'm waiting
podcast.
for big miracles. Muneera, thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
being you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being open. Thank you
you.
for being honest. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for sharing your story
Thank
with
you
the
so
world.
much for having
and
me.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Habibti.
Thank you so much. I love this.
So there you have it. Closing down your business doesn't equal failure. The end of one chapter is always the beginning of something new and beautiful. I hope you learned a lot from this episode with Muneera. We'll see you again real soon for another episode of That Girl.